G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to week number 16 of the NFL. The season is almost over. The playoffs are amongst them. Can you smell them? I'm getting excited because the Kansas City Chiefs are more than likely going to be there. Probably just need to win one or two more games to clinch that spot. I think we clinch it if we win this week. But, you know, there was some great matchups in the previous week, and I went very well to bounce back in tipping. Almost 100%. I'll get into it. And then obviously looking forward to this week. There are some exciting games. It's also Christmas week. So, look, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you for watching these videos throughout the year, because as the time kind of comes around, we'll be filming this next year. So, yeah, let's get into week 16 picks.
Subscribe to Entertain House.
So how did I go last week? Well, in Australia, I am now ranked 78th out of 650 people. I am ranked 754th out of 7,900 people in the globe. So some really nice stats there. Also moved up in this list of Kansas City fans, coming 38th out of 450. I went 13 from 16 for the round. Now the games that I got wrong, obviously Seattle today, they beat the Eagles. Man, the Eagles have a lot of problems. They're 3 straight losses now. Also got wrong the Falcons. They got beaten by the Carolina Panthers. I said that I saw that game being a danger game for them, but didn't expect the loss. And then the Dallas Cowboys, my God, absolutely embarrassed by Buffalo in Buffalo there. But Buffalo really needed to win to keep their season alive, which they're doing in fashion. They were the 3 games I got wrong. I had Cincinnati winning by 8, ended up winning by 3, double points for that margin. I had the Texans to win by 7. They also won by 3. There are a lot of comeback kind of games on Sunday Night Football for the morning there. And then I had Kansas City to win by 15. They won by 10. And 49ers, it was interesting. They were back and forth with the Cardinals. I had them to win by 21, and they ended up winning by 16. So kind of close to that margin there, and didn't expect some of those kind of blowout games or as close as they were. But let's get into this week, man. Starting off on Friday, it is the Los Angeles Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Rams, they had the win iced over the Commanders all game. And then they were letting the Commanders back into the game late to make it a bit of a contest, but they were able to get the job done. And then the New Orleans Saints obviously have been winning games quite recently. So both of these teams coming off wins going into it. The Rams have been playing fairly well, even though they lost the game 2 weeks ago. Still thought they played pretty good against a solid team. You know, they're 4 from their last 5, and it's 2 from the last 5 for the Saints, but they're looking better. Being at SoFi though, and being how I've seen the Rams, I think the Rams win this one. I think they win by a decent margin too. I don't necessarily think they will win 14 plus, but I could see it. But I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams here to win by 12 points, because I really like what I've seen lately. You know, Stafford and Kupp playing really well. The defense getting better. I like the Rams to win by 12. Up, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are down the barrel of their 4th straight loss if they lose this one. They're at home to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals are flying. They're 3 straight wins. The Bengals have done really, really well. You know, to not have their QB, to go into this hole that they were in. And, you know, they're fighting for the playoffs. They're not necessarily going to the playoff, but they're putting themselves in a great position. But this is a desperate Steelers team. This is a Steelers team that season is just about on the line over there in the AFC now. So this makes it really, really interesting for both of these teams. It's almost like a lose and you're potentially out situation. Win and keep on winning and you might go to the playoff. Who do I think's got more firepower? I like the Bengals here. I like their offense. I like what I've seen of recent weeks. I think that the Bengals get it done. I think this will be tight, but I'm going to take the Bengals to win by 7. I think Cincinnati have been flying in recent weeks, and I think they're going to make it 4 straight wins, which we didn't expect after all those losses a few weeks ago. Next up, it's the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium hosting the Buffalo Bills, and this is on Christmas Eve. So these games are on Sunday here in Australia, and it is at 12 o'clock. Up against the Buffalo Bills, who are coming off a great win against the Dallas Cowboys. You know, they beat the Chiefs and the Cowboys. The Chiefs, you know, They've been great in recent years, not so great this year, I'll admit it as a Chiefs fan, but still a good team to beat. So, you know, the Bills are probably riding these wins that they've been getting. And then the Chargers, they've obviously fired their head coach. They're one of the first teams to not win after firing their head coach in a long time in sport, from what I've seen. But, yeah, man, the Bills are flying. The Chargers season is over. They're just going to fall off from here. I can't see much happening besides a Bills blowout. I love what they were able to do to Dallas. They were able to just run, damage. Yeah, I like the Bills to win by 14 here. I do. I think they'll win 14 plus. I could see a bigger margin, but I think at home I'll keep it a bit respectable. But I just don't expect much from the Chargers, especially without Justin Herbert. I think it's going to be tough. And yeah, I think that the Bills are going to win by 14 points. Next up, it is the Falcons at home to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts are coming off a win. Falcons are coming off back-to-back losses. Falcons lost to the friggin' Panthers, for God's sake. What is going on with the Falcons? They've been a hot and cold team this year, but they've mostly been cold. And in this back part of the season, you know, they've lost 6 of their last 8 games, which isn't very good. The Colts, on the other hand, looking really good. They've actually won 5 of their last 7 games. So into this game, I kind of like the Colts on the road. This game is on Christmas Day as well, guys. Christmas here, Monday, we get Monday Night Football. So Sunday Night Football. Here, it's Monday for Australia. We're really excited. But yeah, I like the Colts to destroy the Falcons. The Falcons need to be taught a lesson about how shit they shouldn't have let that game lose the other day. You got yourselves into a good situation earlier in the season, and you've just blown it. And it just seems to be a typical Falcons every year. So I don't expect much at all. Don't expect much. I've gone the Colts by 14 in this one. This will be a good matchup. This one is also at 5 a.m. on Christmas Day. It is the Tennessee Titans at home taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Tennessee did a great job against the Texans. Almost got the win, but the Texans were able to snatch it late in the game. And the Seattle Seahawks coming off a great win against the Philadelphia Eagles at Lumen Field. Now they go on the road. And Tennessee, you know, they've only won 2 of their last 6 games, but they've been playing a lot better in recent weeks. So I give them a massive chance here, especially at home, because Seattle have been very inconsistent. Like what I've seen from Seattle, though, earlier in the season, I feel like they're going to give it back. They're going on a bit of a run here, I feel like. I think Seattle's going to win by 8. I do think this game could be closer, but I've got the Seahawks winning and, you know, getting themselves into a good spot in the NFC. Next up, it's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. Now, the Vikings are coming off the loss to the Bengals, but I thought they put in a really, really big fight. A fight that we probably weren't expecting throughout that game. And then the Lions absolutely destroyed the Broncos. They've been such an inconsistent team, but, you know, they've won 5 of their last 7 games. It's 4 from the last 7 for the Vikings. The Vikings are at home, but Detroit, man, they're a different beast this season. But I just think they're going to get upset here. I get the feeling that the Minnesota Vikings are actually going to beat Detroit here. Let's see what happens. But I'm actually going to tip the Minnesota Vikings here by 3 points. I think the Vikings have been playing fairly well in recent weeks. The team is starting to look more complete from injuries and things as well. I think they're due a win. I think they're going to win this game against Detroit by 3 points. Next up, it's a bit of a snooze fest, this one. At MetLife Stadium at 5 a.m., it is the New York Jets taking on the Commanders, and just one win from their last 7 games makes both of these teams. The Jets obviously beaten the Texans 2 weeks ago, and then the Commanders, it's been 5 weeks since they tasted victory. Not much to say here. You know, the Commanders were able to put up some decent points. The Jets potentially could have Aaron Rodgers on Christmas Day for this game. That would be a Christmas miracle for them. But there's not much that they can do left in this season. I do think they're going to pick up a dub here, though. As much as I liked Washington's offense throughout that game, and I think they've got the better offense, Jets have a better defense for mine. So I'm going to go with the Jets to win this one. I'm going to go the Jets by 6 in this one. I do think it'll be a tight contest, a bit of a slugfest, and I just don't think it'll be a great game. Next up, from Carolina Bank of America Stadium, it is the Carolina Panthers coming off a win. They're coming off the win against the Falcons after 5 weeks of losses. Going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers are coming off back-to-back losses. They lost to Tampa. I did tip Tampa for the upset of the week, guys, and I was right on that one. But as for this game, you know, the Panthers coming off a win gives them confidence, but the Packers just have too much to play for mine, and I think they're going to win. I could see them winning well, but the the offense of the Panthers has actually been quite good. But it wasn't great the other day, but it's been quite good this season. So I think the Packers will keep this one close, but I think they'll be able to win. I'm going to go the Packers by 7. I'm not going to go, 10, 14 plus, because I still think Carolina are a high-scoring team. But I think Green Bay bounce back this week. Next up, this is going to be an awesome game. It is the Houston Texans, who obviously were without CJ Stroud last week. We'll see what happens this week due to concussion. Going up against the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns have won their last 2 games. They're 2 from their last 3. And then it's 2 from their last 3 as well for the Houston Texans. It's a tough game because the Texans got themselves into a winnable position, but they didn't look great the entire game against the Titans. The Cleveland Browns, they've had great defense this season. They were very lucky to get the win the other day, but they know how to win games. They've been doing it all season. They've got luck on their side. Going on the road to Houston, it is going to be tough. I'm going to go with the Texans here. I've got a little bit more trust in the Texans and their offense for mine. Love the Browns defense, but I think that the Texans are going to win and show everyone just how dominant they have been this year, and it's not a fluke. They're not about to fall off. I'm going to go the Texans to win by 7. I think it'll be a tight game, but I get a feeling that Houston are going to beat Cleveland. Next up, this is going to be a good game as well. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, it's opposites for these teams. The Jaguars are 3 straight losses, and the Bucs are 3 straight wins. So they're really fighting to get a spot in the playoffs for the Bucs. There's still this chance for Tampa Bay. And then for the Jacksonville Jaguars, it seems to be slipping away the opportunity that they had. They could have potentially been a 1 seed, 2 seed, but it's not looking like that anymore. But this NFC-AFC matchup is a great one. I'm really looking forward to it. Who do I think is going to win? I like what I've seen from Tampa in recent weeks. Like what I saw from Jacksonville earlier in the season. Haven't liked what I've seen in recent weeks, though. Still a few injuries at the Jags as well. But I'm going to go the Jags. I like what I've seen this season consistently from the Jaguars. And I think that they're going to bounce back. I think it'll be very close. And I think that they'll just snatch this win. Maybe even they shouldn't snatch it. But I'm going to go the Jacksonville Jaguars by 3 because I think they've got a lot to play for. Tampa have a lot to play. Both of these teams have a lot to play for. But my tip is the Jacksonville Jaguars to win a very tough game to pick. As we move into the 8:25 slot on Monday, Christmas Day, it is the Chicago Bears hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Bears almost able to beat the Browns the other day, just losing that one after going back-to-back wins and being a chance at the wild card. It seems to almost all be over now for the Bears. And then the Cardinals, they've won 2 of their last 5. They're coming off a loss to the Niners in which they put up a lot of points. The Bears have been playing a little bit good quite recently, as we've seen. And then the Cardinals, they've also been playing okay. Haven't been able to get many wins on the board, but they've been high scoring. They go on the road here to Chicago, which I think is going to be tough for them going on the road. But I actually like the Cardinals here. I like the form that they've been in. I think the Cardinals are paying $2.60. And, to put up 20 points against a good team, or 29, nearly 30, against a good team like the 49ers, I actually really like Arizona to win this game. I'm going to go the Cardinals to win by 9. I think they can win by a decent margin. I think the Bears were playing okay. But again, they're so inconsistent. And I think I trust Arizona just a little bit more to get this victory. Well, next up, it is a great battle. It is at Miami. It is Miami Dolphins taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Dolphins are coming off a win. The Cowboys coming off a loss. And the Cowboys haven't lost back-to-back games this year from memory. So they will want to bounce back. And they have shown this season consistently that they can bounce back. And, going on the road, it's going to be tough against a decent team like Miami as well. I do like Miami here, though. I have been quite high on Dallas. And I'm not jumping off Dallas just yet. But Miami's offense for mine has just been way too good. And Dallas's offense against the Bills, as good as their defense is, their Bills offense was shocking. And Miami at home, different beast. They were missing Tyreek Hill, still able to get a good win. They're probably going to have him back this week. I've got the Dolphins to win by 10. I think they're going to win this game against the Dallas Cowboys. I know it's a very tough game to pick. Good luck picking it. But I've got the Dolphins winning. Next up, it is the Denver Broncos. This game is the last game on Christmas. It is at lunchtime, 12:15, while you're having your roast pork and your prawns. Chuck on the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. What a game. I'm joking. Patriots are not going to do much here. They led the Chiefs early on, and then once again blew away another potential game that they had their, opportunity. And then the Denver Broncos were absolutely flogged by the Detroit Lions, but they go back home. They've been playing okay, had that good win streak. Now they're inconsistent. We don't know if they're going to be in the playoff. It doesn't look likely. I'm going to go to Denver Broncos to win here by 10. I still think they can win the game, but I don't expect much from either of these teams, and I think Denver win the game. Boxing Day, the Kansas City Chiefs at 5 a.m. will take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we've had a good record against the Raiders in recent years. Our offense has been quite poor, in my opinion. It was pretty good last week, I'll give it to you. But in recent weeks, it's been quite poor. Still missing Pacheco, really missed out there in the running game as well. And the Vegas Raiders, their defense has been pretty solid. They had a freaking hell of a win against the Chargers. They put up 60 points. So, look, they're coming off that win. I almost forgot about that. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs win, but I think this game will be closer than people think. I'm actually going to go the Chiefs by 6. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win by more than 10. 10 is probably the maximum that I could see them winning by. Going to go them by 6. I think we should be able to win this game and, try and move ourselves up within the AFC. But Las Vegas Raiders coming off a great win, high scoring after that 3-0 loss. Last two games for the week. This one at 8:30 on Tuesday. It is the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. Now, the Giants were 3 straight wins, heading into their 4th straight win, which was a massive confidence booster, and then they were absolutely destroyed. Whereas the Philadelphia Eagle, they're chasing their 4th straight loss, which is really disappointing considering the start they had to the season and how poor they have been in recent weeks. But the Giants, man, they're poor. They've been poor all season. The Eagles are going to find a way. They were able to put up a decent amount of points against teams in recent weeks. So Philly's going to win. Philly by 14. There's not much to say here. They're due a win. I can't see the Giants getting a Christmas miracle. Philly's going to win this one. And then the final game, which is actually what I think the Super Bowl is going to be. I think we're getting a Super Bowl preview in San Francisco. The 49ers chasing their 7th straight win, the best current win record in the NFL, up against the Ravens, who are chasing their 5th straight win. A nice win over the Jags. Some of their wins recently have been questionable, but they are one of, if not the best team in the AFC right now. And this is going to be such a good matchup. The 49ers leaked quite a few points against the Cardinals, but still score so much in offense. The offense of the Ravens and the defense is improving week in, week out. This team is getting better and better to watch. Who do I think is going to win? Well, I think the 49ers are definitely, the favorites deservedly going into this game. The Ravens could give it to them, but the 49ers, they're at home. They've been good all year. But the Ravens are going to beat them. The Baltimore Ravens are the real deal this year. Now, I think right now that the Ravens are going to win this game, and then the 49ers are going to get their revenge in the Super Bowl. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the script is there. The Niners win the Super Bowl, and the Ravens beat them in San Francisco. And that's when people jump on the money lines of the Ravens in the Super Bowl. But I think this is the week to jump on them because the Ravens' momentum is real right now. The Baltimore Ravens are going to win this one by 1 point. This is going to become a classic game. Lamar Jackson up against potential MVP in Brock Purdy or Christian McCaffrey. This is going to be a fantastic game, but I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to win. Those are my tips for the week, guys. So a few upsets I am picking, but obviously the Baltimore Ravens as well as the Arizona Cardinals are probably my big upsets for the week, as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're due to bounce back. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know your tips in the comments. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you guys next year.